It's something like, people might think, oh, okay, it's just phobia of needles, like it's nothing. But actually it affects my life, because like if you're sick, if you're sick, or let's say, I don't know, in the future I might, we don't know what's happening in life. Okay, so it has to come from the person to be able to.
It will be more easy for them.
Okay, I should get rid of my phobia then.
Definitely, because when you have that kind of phobia, like it will be affecting you, especially in that kind of emergency situation, right?
Yes, because as we talked a little bit about GERD earlier, and I have really bad GERD actually, and if I go to the hospital, the only solution that they give me is always, okay, we need to get a camera inside of you to see what's inside your stomach. And I'm like, and how are you going to put a camera? And it's like, we need to be put to sleep. And I'm like, needles, right? It's like, no, so, yep, okay.
So in terms of GERD, there are two kind of problems. There are actual biological
and this.
And the physiological system. So if it's in your physiological system, it's usually because of the, I call it paradoxical loop. It's the things that you really love the most that creates this kind of problem. Because GERD is always connected with fear because of the great loss in the past. So when you have a great loss, like you lost someone or the things that you love, like when you having a dog and then...
I was literally about to say my dog. Literally was just about to say that.
Actually, if it's been a traumatic experience, like when I lost my dog, I cry a lot, and then it really hurts me and make me like trigger the fight, flight, freeze response. And after that, it creates a trauma. And then I don't know why I have this kind of problem, but actually because of that kind of loss that I ever had before, it accumulates and creating the problem in the surface. So GERD is always like that. Also, when we try to find the trauma that creating that, and then we heal it, it's suddenly gone. It's like the person that I told you before, the business person. He got lost because his good friend is died by a car accident.
Oh no.
And after that, he also go to the crime scene, and then like the part of my friend is there. Okay. And then after that, he's very afraid, and he said that that's the one that also creating all the anxiety. So it's really hard to understand and really hard to tell, because it's like we see it as a biological problem. We didn't see it as a biological symptom because of the physiological problem. So in terms of this, when we can see the physiological problems, we can address it, structure it, and release it. And after that, the patterns change. And GERD is also happens in the perfectionist people.
I am.
Yeah.
People think it's a good thing, and I'm like, it's not.
It's
a flaw. It's stressful to be a perfectionist because you're putting so much pressure to yourself.
Why we became the perfectionist people? Because also the great loss. If we have a loss that really hurt us, we really want to never make any mistake again, because this kind of loss, we knew it's very, very hurting us. I need to make it all perfect. So that's the traumatic pattern also.
Okay. So how can someone rebuild their life? Let's say they had like severe trauma. So how can they rebuild their life after experiencing severe trauma?
Well, actually, trauma is more like there are many things that we can help ourselves through this one. Like maybe if you have a backpack filled with rocks, and then you can be more powerful by like doing exercises. So many people try to say that, okay, we need to deal with the trauma. We need to be stronger. So you have the rocks in the backpack and you become stronger.
But the rocks are still there.
Yeah. Or you can just release the rocks, like put it down, and you can continue on living. So you need to have the structures to actually drop it, because it's not that easy. As I told you before, it's something that you cannot see. So you need to learn how exactly the structures works. So we can like throw all the rocks away from our backpack, and also throw the backpack if we need. Yeah, so we didn't bring the backpack anymore. So that's how you heal. You can use the old system to cope, to be more powerful than the problem, or you can just release the problem and get more powerful, not because of the problem, but because you want to. If you want to be healthy, you are going healthy because you want to be healthy, not because you have these rocks that you must to be doing all the exercises and things like that. So you can heal it like that's the ways. And the other one, you can also heal if it has a closure pattern. The closure is like when one of my friend have the spiritual advisor that she said that, okay, I have this trauma, sexual trauma because of the rape that happens before, and after 30 years I really released from that trauma suddenly. Because what? Because I have the closure. The person that do the rape things to me is died.
Okay.
Yeah, because he is died, and then I'm completely free right now. But that's the things that you need to have a closure. Yeah. So in terms of trauma can heal also if you find the closure. But not many people are not lucky enough to find the closure, right? Yeah. So we need to interfere, like using certain system that we have. We can just heal it. We don't need to like bring it like 30 years to find a closure and then suddenly you are free. But you can actually be free in a short amount of sessions. It's more like that.
Okay, so related to what you were saying earlier, so it really does, how do I say it? It really does hurt someone's self-confidence, you know, especially when it's something as bad as that.
Yeah.
And how can a person restore their self-confidence, you know, like after going through all that, like either it's harassment or becoming a victim of violence, or like how do you have the self-confidence?
Okay.
It's something that's really hard to kind of like get back.
Yeah, well actually it's hard if you didn't know the way how to actually release it. But after you like release all the traumatic pattern, like, because in terms of sexual harassment, when you have it's more like when we search for the trauma, it's not in that certain position. If the trauma in the sexual harassment, you search again, you will find another trauma that create this kind of problem. So in terms of like the confidence and things, it's all the symptoms because of this situation. And below the situation, there are traumas that combine and then like executed in this certain experience. So what we call it, it's more like the analogy is like when you are making the fried rice. You have the rice before, and then the eggs, the meat, the chicken, and then the like we call it bumbu ingredients. Yeah, and that kind of moment, it's more like when all the ingredients is getting cooked. So if we want to break it down, we need to like find the ingredients. So after we remove the rice, it's not fried rice anymore. If we remove the chicken, the eggs, and suddenly the trauma is like disappear. So after that, it's like recovering their system, so they didn't feel like unease anymore. They remember the moment, doesn't triggers anything. So after that, they can be confident by themselves because like they didn't remember the feelings anymore. So when they are accessing, there's nothing there. When you see the memory is still there, but there are no traumas anymore in that system. So it doesn't affect us in the like surface area anymore. So they can just be happy. So even though they remember, they can tell the stories and they didn't react, or it's more like that.
Okay.
So they can be confident again.
So
confidence is not something that you train. It can be earned immediately because of the absence of the traumatic pattern inside your body.
Okay. I completely forgot my question there. My mind just went blank. Okay.
The traumatic pattern.
Yeah. Okay.
You fix it from below.
The depression, traumas, everything that we were just talking about. It's something. I mean, I don't know whether, because I don't have like enough or adequate knowledge of like the DOA system, because I haven't gone like through it myself and all that. But I have tried to like get help in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, and depression. I'm just gonna go with like depression right here.
Okay.
So I would say depression is something that a lot of people experience. Okay, and for you to be able to kind of like heal, it takes years and years and years for that. So my question here is, when it comes to DOA, like, is it also the same like that? Like, does it also take like years for you to be able to like heal, or is it, I don't know, shorter than that? Because I know how long it took me to be able to overcome it. It was, I don't know, 10 years probably. Like, it was really slow. It was really difficult. It was really hard, but I'm okay now. But it was very difficult, and I know that lots of people are. They don't even deal with it, so they're basically just stuck with it their entire life, and God forbid, basically off themselves. How
long?
Okay.
Actually, there's a certain depression that like in the next stage of depression, it's like very, very depressed, that they cannot function normally anymore. Like even though when we are talking with them, they are like, and then in that kind of depression, it will be hard to facilitate them, because it's very, very like hard condition. But in terms of the other kind of depression, because many people like, I feel very depressed, I don't know, I'm very sad, but I still can function, but I don't know why my life is like this, and there are voices keep coming, like to end our life and things like that. If that kind of depression, they usually we can help them like more easily, like not that kind of depression, because we cannot talk with people with depression that in that kind severe depression. But in terms of this area, because there are so many people in this area, they didn't have the condition. It's like that they can function normally, like they are high function depression. So they still can function, but they have this kind of depression. Like many people suddenly like end their life are because of this kind of depression. So in this area, we can help them for just maybe, I think, 6 to 12 hours facilitation will give them like beneficial result. So, and many of them like just 1 or 2 single session, it helps them like to gain back their confidence and do all things like happily. And I help so many people with that kind of condition. Not in this phase of depression, the last stage, but in the first stage, second stage, third stage, we can help them have a dramatic result in just 1 session. It's more like that. So in terms how long? About 3 hours of facilitation level will help them to gain back their confidence or things like that, or their happiness.
Okay. So one of the
maybe you can see in the video.
check out the channel.
Yeah, there are so many. Yeah, because in terms of this kind of problem, because many people like you said that I have this kind of depression like 10 years. I face it. When I talk about we can help the depressed people for just 3 hours, it will be like.
You gotta censor that. By the way.
That's why I said I told them like, please see the video, because that's why I create this channel so people can see how exactly we do the facilitation. Yeah, because this is something new.
Yeah, because I mean one of the reasons why it was also really, really difficult for me that it took years. It was also because of how hard it was from outside. So like I am already struggling with my own emotions, with my own thoughts, with my own voices.
Yes, true.
But then I also have this extra pressure from outside of people like having all of these stigmas, stigmas of mental health issues, mental health disorders, all of those. So how do we fight against these kinds of like stigmas against people, who are struggling with mental health disorder?
Well, actually, we need to release all the emotion, because we cannot like change people, right? We cannot, please don't do this to me. No. So we need to actually fix ourselves, because people will like touching our problems, like saying things or doing things, and then if we just keep telling, please don't do this, please don't do that, and then we act like a victim in that. Sorry, I'm not talking about you. It's about the structure, because like we have this problem, please don't do this to me. It's like they are very mean to us. But when actually we cannot change the external things around us, right? The things that we can do is just fixing the internal problem, because when they are touching something inside our system and there is things that come up, it means there is something problematic in ourselves. So if we find it and release it, and suddenly when they are saying that kind of situation, we didn't feel anything. There is I forgot the name. There is someone that doing this kind of trainings also. They are saying like this: if someone says to you like, "Hey, you're the one that with the hair blue, you're stupid." Do you feel threatened or feel?
Depending on who said it.
He said, "You're the one that have the blue hair." So your hair not blue, right?
Yeah.
So when he said that, and then the one that's crazy, it's not you. Because
but the way I respond, it would be based on who the person is, like who is saying this.
Oh, okay.
Depends on who is saying this. If it's like, let's say, a friend, then I would just be like, okay, cool, But if it's maybe some random person, then I would be like, basically it depends on who said it to me.
Maybe for a random person, you will like, okay, who is this guy? Why?
Why? What's your problem?
What's the problem? So it actually didn't affect you in a different level. Like when he said that, okay, with the yellow hair, and then you knew that he's like saying that to you directly, because in terms of this kind of problem, if we have the problem when they say it, if we are the blue hair guy, and then when he said that, it will affect us. But if we release it all of things like that, and then he said the same thing, it doesn't affect us. Because maybe when I go to the Ciletuh, I go to with my family in is that a place? It's a place. Okay. And then we are going using the car, and that having the open space in behind, and then when we are sitting, and then there's a girl, I think maybe in the 5 or 6 years, and then suddenly she sees us, and then I see, there's a girl, and then the girl like doing this, and then the things that I see and I think it's like, who
What's
is
wrong with
this
you?
girl? What's wrong with you? Who's your parents? Oh, you're so sad to see like this.
Yeah, I think I've experienced that also.
Yeah. So we
Also
didn't
a
get
little girl.
offended, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so
Just
because there is nothing in our system, but there is a system when the things that she do, it's done by another person. Like with adults, maybe some people would get offended. But as for me, okay, why is this people like behave like this? Okay, I didn't need to like confront with all of this kind of emotion that they have, because when they are doing that, maybe they have some certain problems in their life or things like that, so they need to do it. If they are happy, then there is no reason for people to do that kind of condition, right? They don't need to like having that kind of gesture also. Yeah, so it's more like that. If we don't have the problem within our system, it will not trigger us, because when we get triggered, it means there is something within us. So in terms of things, we cannot control the stigma. We can only heal ourselves.
Yeah.
When it healed, the stigma doesn't affect us anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that phrase that I heard before, like you have enough hands to cover your ears, but you don't have enough hands to shut everyone's mouth.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So basically, just focus on yourself. Just don't listen to what people say, because you don't have enough. Yeah. Okay.
That's true.
Okay. So I think, in my opinion,
Yes.
younger generations, you know, like I would say millennials, Gen Zs, compared to like the previous one, boomers, Gen X, they're more aware about mental health. Yeah, they care more and they're more aware of it. But however, now we are also in the age of like social media.
Yes.
Okay, so do you think that this has connection? You know, like social media and also mental health issues, or social media and also, like what connection does it have with each other?
Yes, definitely. There are so many people get mental problem because of the social media, because right now they are comparing each other, and also they learn about this kind of mental health like education. So because of the education level is like very, very open, and people get solidified. So when we have certain problem and they do the cocoklogi, I don't know the terms in English, like when people are matching.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I have this kind of problem because I read it. This kind of things is called depression, and then they can pinpoint the pattern. But because of the certain pattern, like just a little bit of pattern, and then they call them and they label them as a depressed people, depressed person. I have this kind of sadness, sorrow, and I got this depressed. And after they label themselves, it gets stronger. Yeah, because when we can see something, and then we will keep focusing on that. But before, because there is no information like this era, people didn't knew about depression. When they are feel sad, I said, okay, let's get back to work. It's just more like that. So
but is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's both, because it's kind of bad because they didn't know that they have this kind of problem, but because they didn't know, they can still fight. That's why there is a strawberry generation terms, because
what's a strawberry generation?
Yeah, the strawberry generation is they call it the Gen Z, because they are strawberries, because they can get scratched easily. Because and suddenly when you are saying mean things, and you are so mean to me, and it's more like that. So they call it like strawberry generation.
Why strawberry though? But okay.
Because it's scratched easily.
Yeah, it could be other fruits also, but okay. All right.
I call it Puyo generation.
Sorry? Puyo, the pudding.
Puyo, the pudding.
Yeah,
pudding
okay.
generation. Yeah, the
Not sponsored.
The terms from the DJ Venom. You can see the podcast also. Okay. So in terms of the younger generation also, because they are living with all this kind of information that overwhelm them, and they can just pinpoint and they do the self-diagnose. So I have this kind of problem, I have this kind of problem, it gets solidified. So when it gets solidified, it creates more of the problem because we are aware about that. At first, I see this kind of pattern when I go to the one of mental health issues class that talks about dementia. And suddenly they said, okay, this is the early stage of dementia, this is the criteria why people having this kind of dementia after that kind of criteria appears in their life. So when I see it, and then I see it when we tend to forget something, and then it's more like that. And after that session, every time I forgot about something, I always like, oh my God, is this the first sign of dementia?
Okay.
And I didn't knew that I like doing it like unconsciously, because I keep aware when I forgot something, and I label it as dementia. And after that, it's more like a suggestion, when you say this to yourself, like, okay, I get this kind of depression, I'm feeling sad, I have depression, I feel sad, I have this kind of depression, and it keeps running throughout your body system, like daily. And after that, you can see after a while you will get more depressed. So after I knew about this pattern is happening to me, I released it completely out of my system, so I didn't think about that anymore. So this is kind of the traumatic pattern that can happen in our life because of the certain education also. Because when we educate ourselves about certain condition, we will get to like more aware about that kind of condition. So when the like Gen Z or Gen Alpha, they are having this kind of many information about mental health, like they can pinpoint like, okay, this is the toxic parents pattern. So they start to label, okay, my parents are toxic, I hate them. Because toxic parent is like blah 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 blah, and we create the separation. So because of they didn't have any moderation or things like that, they can learn anything, everything, because nowadays internet are so open, right, with all the information, especially in Indonesia, people can get access to anything. So when they have this kind of exposure and they learn about that, they can get solidified easily. So it can create more of this kind of problem. So the more people spread awareness about the mental health, the more people get this kind of problem also. That's why the mental health problem is kind of expand right now.
Okay, but do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing then for people to be more aware of mental health?
Both, because it's a good thing, because more aware, we can help them to process the emotion before it become worse. But many people are just doing the self-diagnose, and then they didn't came into other people, and then some of them are just like, oh, you have this kind of, and then they do the stigma thing, it doesn't help. So it got both ways. So it has the good things, but also come with bad.
Yeah, because I think there are two sides of people right here. The ones that you said earlier, the ones that are aware, so then they kind of like, they self-diagnose and they get drowned into it. Or the ones that completely deny it.
Yeah, true.
So like there are signs, but they decide to just, I'm fine.
Yes, correct.
Which is, how is that? Like, that's worse, or is that
well, it's kind of good also in terms of which measurement that you use. Because if we see, like, many people say that, oh, okay, Gen Z is like that, it's like the strawberry generation and things like that, but the Gen X and the millennials are more stronger, because when we measure in terms of stronger and more capable to do many things.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Are they actually stronger though?
I don't know.
I think denying and being strong is kind of like two different things.
So that's why what we measure. If we measured by the work ethic, maybe they are stronger.
Yes,
Yeah.
but because
So how we measure it? If we measure it by the other things like the happiness scale or things like that, maybe they are not in the.
maybe they're not happy.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not as happy.
So which part do you use the measurement?
Yeah, because based on my
Experience.
teaching experiences, because I teach adults, and adults it's between 18 to 125, right? They're all adults.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've had multiple classes where I have Gen Zs and also boomers in class, and it's really hard. I mean, it's the mindset of, because sometimes they do bring up mental health issues, and how the boomers just straight up go, yeah, I mean Gen Zs nowadays, they're weak. And I'm always there like, oh, don't say that, that's very insensitive, but I don't know, it's just it's something that we talked about earlier already. It's not something that we can change, unfortunately. Do you think it will be able to change? I don't think so.
Well, actually we can change, but we cannot change the generation because it's too big, right?
Especially it's like 50 years ago or something.
Actually we can change ourselves, so we start to change the world by ourselves, right?
It's I'm always there in class and I'm like, oh God, don't
So
say
hard.
that. Oh God, don't say that. Like the Gen Zs in my office, they were lazy, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah,
When I was younger,
it's become stereotyping because but it's like that also in my.
no, don't do that. Don't stereotype.
But there's still hopeful younger generation.
Don't stereotype. I'm not old. I work like crazy. There you go. I'm breaking the stereotype here.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So speaking of earlier, we were talking about self-diagnose.
Yes.
Like self-diagnosis. So it's kind of like self-sabotaging yourself also, kind of.
Yeah.
Right? Because you basically tell yourself that, okay, I have depression, so you're self-sabotaging yourself.
Yes, true.
So how can we prevent that from happening? Because it is true, it's something that's easy to do and sometimes you can't control it.
So maybe sometimes you just don't need to know about that.
But how? How?
And the bad things about the social media, if you are accessing that kind of content and you love it, and it will send its many contents about that right now to you again. So I have like 2 accounts, like the one that I do research about mental health, and then I have another account special about entertainment, and then like game and things like that. And all in that content is all the things that brings me happiness.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just switched the social media.
Okay.
So like social media detox. So I didn't access any
Toxic
mental
social
health,
media and detoxing.
any mental health information. I didn't see it. I just keep it in this part, and I just doing all the things, the gaming things in this part. So also all my friends that are like they want to be friends with me in my social media, if they are I only accept the gaming from the gaming area friends. So I didn't accept any of the mental health people, even though they are asking me, can I be friend? No. Yeah, because it will affect my algorithm. So when in terms of algorithm, if you access and you have that kind of friends, I don't know why the contents will keep coming again. Yeah. So this kind of system can help you also to detox. So sometimes I see in this area, but many times I will see in this area. I just talking about like games or maybe K-pop and K-drama.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more like that, and or movies things. Yeah, it's on the entertainment side.
Okay.
So it will bring more happiness and joy to your life when you have hobbies, like I also love dogs, so in that certain social media, I didn't fit with any of the mental health problem. So if you can separate all these things, it will help you. And also, if you can release all the problems, you will not get affected with this one. Even though I can see all the social media things, they call depression and everything about that, it doesn't affect me anything, because actually, I'm not there anymore. Yeah. Okay. So that's how maybe it can help you.
Okay, I need to create 2 accounts. I only have one.
Second account, but with the same name, yeah?
No, it has to be like I don't know, some random name so people can't find it. Yeah.
So people cannot find it.
Yeah, because my
that's very good. Yeah.
My algorithm right now is just my feed telling me, oh, you're single. Oh God. That's right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So speaking of mental health, and earlier we were talking about trauma. Is it true that when you have either depression, anything, there are so many different mental health disorders, right? So one of them is depression. What else? So I know
depression, maybe bipolar. Yeah, it's more like that.
Is it true that everyone can heal from that?
In terms of this kind of question, I think it depends whether the severe or not. Yeah, at your condition level right now. If it's not that severe, maybe you can heal in just short amount of time. But if it's really severe, maybe you need a longer time to help you from that. But I think we can actually cure it if it's not in the last stage. I mean, when people cannot talk anymore, the one that I said before. Yeah. But if it's in the early stage, I think we can fix it. Yeah, it's more like that.